Good evening and welcome to Life Groups. And tonight is good news because we are going to tell you how to have a Christmas celebration. It is the end of Life Groups. There's going to be no more material after this until the new year. And so this is how to do a celebration well. And I've got Carmen and Tim. And Carmen has just had a celebration. So we're going to kind of zone into what she did. And we're going to throw a few thoughts to make your celebration really, really good. So Carmen, thank you for joining us. Tell us what you did.
Oh, great. So our life group leader is Rowena Rich, and she's gifted in hospitality, and she delegated to all of us to each bring what we needed to for the evening. So if it was a roast or crackers or vegetables, etc. So she made it quite easy for us, which was great. I feel like if you're gifted in hospitality, you need to thrive in that area and delegate to your members of your group.
Let's just dive in here because I often find with life groups, the people without the gift of hospitality, don't care about the celebration. I mean, they heard this and they went, oh no, we've got to celebrate. And the people who have gifts of hospitality, service, those kind of things, they get really excited. Yeah. How do we work out who's who?
How do we work out who's who? I think naturally you'll know the guys who have a natural hospitality gift or hosting gift because they naturally want to do that. They've got a heart and passion for it. But they're the kind of people that are quite open, and people feel safe and welcomed in their homes. And so there's a general warmth about them that when you're with them, you go, I want to be with these people. These people are actually cool to be around. And you'll find you can spot a hospitality gift quite quickly that way. Not all of them have good admin skills, but a lot of them do. But you'll find they're the warm people of the group that want to just kind of bring everyone together.
Okay.
So practically, we arrived and everything was set out. We all brought what we needed to and laid it out in the kitchen. And I feel like the kitchen is the heart of the home. Everyone, was standing around the kitchen and chatting. And the husband, Gavin, was pouring drinks for everyone. So hosting really well as a couple.
Juice, obviously.
which they thrive in. And we always feel so welcome when we're at their house. So. And they made it work with the amount of people we have. We have quite a lot of people in our life group. So we had a table set out. And we also had a kitchen counter where we sat at. And we got to the formalities where we decided now it was time to eat. And we were going to pray. So I feel like that was really important to pray over the meal. And, just to give thanksgiving for the meal and for the year that we've had,
Let's take off that Thanksgiving moment because we're wanting to, I guess, have conversations of thanks with each other and with God. So we've spoken about thanks and conversations for people's growth, celebrating them for moments, and for the community. Just open that up. How are we going to do that?
Yeah, I think for everyone watching at home, if you're watching just at home by yourself, can you? This is like final, almost like faith step for the year. Is why don't you invite a couple people around and create a small group just for like a Thanksgiving type dinner? So we don't want to follow what the states do, but we want to say Thanksgiving in a very much we're going to celebrate and remember what God has done. And some of the most sweetest times as a life group together, as a community, is when we give thanks, when we remember the moments that we had and the moments we've shared in the year, the moments we've seen God come through. And so Thanksgiving and celebration are so closely connected, isn't it? And so I do think it's such a good time together as a group at the end of the year and to reflect, to look back. And sometimes it's to look back at the hard times, but really what we're doing is going, look how God has brought us through. And look for the moments where God has broken through and provided hope or encouragement or strengthening. And then on top of that, I would say look for the people who God provided through as well. And celebrate the people in your life group because God generally doesn't do things only for you. He'll do it in community. And I look back at a couple of moments in my group. I just want to share them quickly just so the guys have an idea. There are two moments I can think of straight off the cuff, which were absolutely special. One was in deep lockdown when we were all on Zoom, and we Zoomed every single week, and it was getting a bit of Zoom fatigue, and guys just didn't really want to do that anymore. But my group committed to meeting again on Zoom. And we ended up spending a lot of time in prayer, and that's a bit awkward to do online.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, but for the guys to commit to it and then feel the power of that prayer and feel the words come through and know that even though in your own homes, when your hearts are connected and your spirits are connected and you're pulling in one direction, God shows up.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful moment. The second one was in a lesser level of lockdown, actually meeting on the beach. We all agreed to fast in our own homes and then meet on the beach and share communion and break fast together and pray there, which was a beautiful moment and really draw us together again as a community. So we celebrate the moments where we've seen God come through and be with us. We celebrate specific people, guys who have held on to faith regardless of the circumstances, because let's be honest here, some guys aren't out of those circumstances, but they are such an example to me. I know guys in my group who have held on to faith and held on to God and clung to Him and still said, this hasn't come through, but He is coming through. Yeah. And we celebrate people like that as well.
So let's just structure this a little before we come to how you wrap it up. What we're saying is find the person with the hospitality gift and ask them to host. Find the person with the administrative gift and ask them to organize it. And then set up a conversation around celebrating people, how they've grown. Secondly, moments in the group, like Tim was talking about. And thirdly, what this group's become. Now, Coms, we've got a Secret Santa thing.
Yeah, there's a little app you can download called Ulster, and it helps you to delegate in your group how you want to give your Secret Santa gifts to people. So that's also quite a great idea if you want to, share a Secret Santa in your group, which is quite a nice practical step as well. So, and that can also be a nice conversation starter as well.
How did your group end? You had a meal, and then? And what would you do during the meal?
Oh, so we also had a moment where we celebrated so much that's happened during lockdown in our group specifically. People have started businesses. We've had Rowena, who does beautiful paintings, has now produced fabrics. Her paintings into fabrics. Who's now started a whole range of pajamas. And so lockdown was tough, yes, but we had a moment of great celebration around the table. And at the same time, we've got mature Christians, and we had a couple that new Christians, and they just joined our life group at the beginning of lockdown, and they were celebrating how much they've grown, in their spiritual walk. So there was a lot of growth in our group too. So it was great to be able to celebrate that with them as well.
Brilliant. And you ended it. How did you end?
Oh, we ended it. I think we all just decided that. We always have a time for our life group. It ends at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
That's been our our time that we end. But I think at the end of the night we had just felt that it just flowed so well. And we ended up standing in the kitchen and chatting, and then some people left when they felt they needed to. But it was just such a warm feeling. It was just their gifting is hospitality, and you can feel that you just brought you when you're in their home, it's just warmth. And in the kitchen we were all just sitting chatting, and if you wanted to stay, you could stay.
So, I mean, you seems you want to add. Do you want to add to it quickly now, and then I'm going to tell people what to do.
I do, if you don't mind. Really, for life groups, I mean, it's great to get together and have a night of just kind of celebrating and all that, but this meal thing is significant.
Yeah.
There's a significant thing that happens when people gather around a meal, and I really would encourage you guys, do what you can to contribute, to bring through, and to share a meal together. I mean, we look at Scripture, we look at Jesus at the Last Supper, we look at Him, not even with the disciples, but with some of the Jewish leaders and the woman who comes crying at His feet. There's just these beautiful moments that happen as a community, which you can't engineer. But God pitches up in that, and I really would encourage guys to get together as much as possible, do what you can to share a meal.
Yeah.
Sure, that's great.
So in Kloof they would have had a roast, in Morningside we'll have KFC. But here's the thing. There are some people in your group who have more means than others. Well, what you got to give. Buy food for some guy who doesn't. Make sure that if you have the gift of hospitality or administration, bring it to this moment. You're gonna get through the little app. You're going to get who you need to bring in encouragement for, or I saw you grow in this. So you're going to pick a name on the app, and then you're going to bring a word, And you're going to go around the circle 3 times. And the first time, you're going to go with the word for the person. The second time, you're just going to talk about, as a group, the moments that God's moved in the group. And then the third time, you're going to talk about what this group meant. So I suggest you divide it up into certain moments throughout the evening where you're going to go, right, we're going to talk about people, right, we're going to talk about growth as a group, right, we're going to talk about moments. And watch what God does. And then set a time to end. Make a decision on whether you bring kids or not, and then allow people to be generous. Here's my last thing. Be generous.
Yes.
This has been something you're invested into. It's your spiritual family. So be generous in your spiritual family and watch how God will take that and multiply.
Sure. That's great.
Cool.
I'm going to add one more thing. If you don't have a hospitality gift, you're going to have a gift of encouragement, or you're going to have a gift of prophecy, or you're going to have another gift that you can serve your group with on that evening. Use it. And so if that means that you're going to write an extra 1 or 2 things for an extra 1 or 2 people to encourage them, then do that.
Yeah.
But bring who you are to that evening.
That's great.
In vulnerability, but in a confidence that God will use you, and then celebrate the company around you.
Awesome. We're going to put a little structure of this onto the comment section, but I pray that this really blesses you and you have an amazing end of year celebration. God bless.
Cheers.